Hi everyone, welcome back to English 1314. What if I told you that you do not need to move to another country to become fluent in English? You can speak English well without leaving your home. In this video, I will share my story and the simple methods I used to reach a strong level while I stayed in my own country. I want to begin by talking about my background because I know many of you are new here. I want you to understand where I started, why I wanted English, and what problems I faced on the way. I was born in a small town. In my town, English was just one school subject, like math or history. I started learning English when I was about 7 years old. At that age, I did not care about English. I only wanted to play, watch cartoons, and spend time with my friends. In school, English felt boring. I had to learn long lists of words, and I had to do grammar exercises again and again. I did not feel a real reason for it, so I did not try hard. For many years, I studied English. But I was mostly memorizing, then forgetting, then memorizing again, and it did not feel like real progress. Everything changed when I was around 15 or 16. At that time, I wanted to go to a university in the capital city. To do that, I needed to pass an English exam. Suddenly, English was not just a school subject, it was a key to my future. At the same time, I started to dream about travel, work, and friends from other countries. I wanted to watch videos on the internet and understand them without help. I wanted to read simple articles and learn new ideas. So I made a decision for myself. I would take English seriously, and I would try to make the journey fun, not painful. First, I became more active in school. I did my homework, I asked questions, and I tried to get good grades. I became that student with a notebook full of notes. My teacher was surprised. My family was surprised too. But even when I got good grades, I still felt a big gap. I could do exercises, but speaking was hard. Listening was hard. In my head, I knew many rules, but in real life, I could not make sentences fast. When I wanted to speak, my mind became empty. I would think in my language first, then translate, then panic, and the moment was gone. When I moved to the capital for college, I was about 18. That was another turning point. I met students who spoke English better than me. I also met people who did not speak perfectly, but they still spoke with confidence. I saw that English was not magic. It was a skill. If you train, you improve. I found a new goal too. I wanted to sound clearer. For me, fluency was not only about vocabulary and grammar, it was also about pronunciation, rhythm, and stress, so people could understand me easily and I could feel confident when I spoke. But I had a problem. I did not have money for special training. I was a student and my budget was small, so I used what I had: the internet, free videos, free podcasts, and cheap books. I searched for pronunciation lessons. I learned simple ideas, like stressed and unstressed syllables, how intonation can show emotion, and why some sounds change in fast speech. Then I did the most important thing. I practiced again and again with patience. I practiced on the bus. I practiced while cooking. I practiced when I had 5 minutes between classes. One method helped me a lot, and you may have heard about it before. It is called shadowing. Shadowing is when you listen to a short audio and you repeat it almost at the same time. You copy the rhythm, the stress, and the melody of the sentence. At first, it feels strange. You may feel silly, but it works because it trains your mouth and your brain together. Here is exactly how I did it. I chose a short clip, like 10 or 20 seconds. I listened one time without speaking. Then I listened again and repeated, trying to stay close to the speaker. Then I listened a third time and focused on one thing, like the R sound or the stress on a word. After that, I recorded myself on my phone. Then I compared my voice to the original. I did this many times. Sometimes I repeated the same clip 10 times. This is not very exciting at the start, but after a few weeks, you start to hear change, and that feels amazing. Of course, I had many hard moments. There were days when grammar was confusing and I could not create a correct sentence. There were days when listening felt like noise. There were also days when I felt embarrassed because my pronunciation was not how I wanted it to be. I remember my first real conversation with a native English speaker. I was around 19. I was so nervous. In my mind, native speakers were like people from another planet. I thought they would judge my mistakes. I thought I would not understand anything. My heart was beating fast. Even to say, "Hi, how are you?" felt scary. I made mistakes. I spoke slowly, and I asked people to repeat. But I survived, and after that, it became a little easier each time. What kept me going was motivation, but also proof. I could see my progress. I wrote dates in my notebook, like, "Today I learned the past perfect," or "Today I practiced the th sound." I also made small voice recordings every month. When I listened to older recordings, I could hear that my speech was clearer and faster. That was like fuel. It made me want to continue. If you only look at today, progress feels slow, but if you compare month to month, it becomes real. I also want to say something important. For a long time, I did not practice with native-speaking teachers. I did not have that option. Looking back, I think native teachers can help a lot. Talking with native speakers is very useful. And if you can pay for lessons, it can save time. But I also want you to know this truth. If you cannot afford it right now, you are not blocked forever. You can still build strong English at home, step by step, with the tools you have. You can watch, listen, repeat, read, write, and speak, and you can improve a lot. Some people believe that traveling is the only way. I understand why they think that. When you travel, you are surrounded by the language. You feel pressure to speak. You hear real English every day. That can be a big push. But the street does not teach you English. People on the street are not your teachers. They want to communicate their message. They want to buy coffee, ask for directions, do their work, live their life. If you do not understand them, they will not stop and teach you grammar. So you still need to prepare at home. I traveled abroad for the first time only after I had reached a decent level. When I visited an English-speaking place, my English did not suddenly jump up like magic. It was the same English I had trained at home. The big difference was that I used it more often in real situations. I ordered food, asked questions, and made small talk. Sometimes it was awkward. Sometimes I did not understand. But because I had a base, I could keep going. That is why I want to repeat this message. You can do a lot before you ever travel. Now I want to share the key strategies that helped me the most. Some of them I used without knowing the names. Later, I learned that these were real strategies, and they are supported by good learning science too. Strategy number 1 is immersion. Immersion means you bring English into your life every day. You do not wait for the classroom. You create an English environment around you. When I decided to make English fun, I started watching TV shows in English. I got addicted to one show, and I watched every season only in English. At first, I used subtitles in my own language because I needed support. Then, I switched to English subtitles because I wanted to connect sound and spelling. Later, I turned subtitles off because I wanted my ears to work harder. Many people ask me, how should I use subtitles? Here is what worked for me. First, watch subtitles in your language, just to enjoy the story. Second, watch English subtitles, so you can notice words you already know, and you can pick up new phrases. Third, watch no subtitles, and you try to catch the sounds. Fourth step, choose one short scene, like 20 seconds, and do shadowing. This way, you get fun, meaning, and real speaking practice from one video. But here is the secret. Passive watching is not enough. If you only watch and never work, you learn slowly. So I became an active learner. I paused the video and repeated sentences. I wrote down useful phrases. I chose one short scene and practiced it many times. Sometimes I copied the actor's voice like a game. This made pronunciation practice fun because it felt like acting. You can do the same with interviews, documentaries, or even short YouTube clips. Short clips are great because you can repeat them without getting tired. Let me share a simple 3-level plan for immersion. Level 1. Easy input. Watch or listen to something that is a little above your level, but not too hard. If it is too hard, you will quit. Level 2. Focused input. Choose one short part and study it deeply for 5 minutes. Pause, repeat, write, check, meaning. Level 3. Output. Use what you learned in your own sentences. For example, if you learn, "It turns out that," you can say, "It turns out that I learn better in the morning." This kind of practice makes your English active, not only passive. Strategy number 2 is consistency. I practiced almost every day, not because I was perfect, but because I had a clear reason. Some days I studied for 1 hour. Some days only 20 minutes. But I tried to keep the chain. Even small daily practice is powerful because your brain loves regular contact. Think about it like watering a plant. A little water every day is better than a huge bucket once a month. People often tell me, "I have no time." I understand. Life is busy. But time is not only something you have, it is something you choose. You can find small pockets of time. For example, you can listen while you walk, travel, or clean your room. You can read one short page while you eat lunch. You can do 5 minutes of shadowing before you sleep. Small pockets become big progress after months. Here is a real example of a simple weekly routine you can copy. Monday, 15 minutes listening while you walk, then 5 minutes shadowing at home. Tuesday, read one short article, underline 5 words, and write 5 sentences. Wednesday, watch one short video and repeat one scene. Thursday, speak to yourself for 10 minutes, like telling your day. Friday, review your notebook and repeat old phrases. Saturday, talk with a partner online for 20 minutes, or record a 5-minute voice message if you have no partner. Sunday, relax a bit, but also do a light review and choose content for next week. Strategy number 3 is keeping English fun. This is not childish. This is smart. When learning feels painful, you stop. When learning feels interesting, you return. So I chose topics I liked: travel stories, simple psychology, interviews, cooking videos, and funny conversations. I also used English for real life. I changed my phone language to English. I followed English accounts online. I wrote my shopping list in English sometimes. I left small English notes in my room, like keys, door, charger, and water. So I saw English every day. I also tried to avoid burnout. Sometimes I was too excited and I studied for many hours. Then, after a few days, I felt tired and I wanted to stop. So I learned a balance. Do a little every day and take a real rest when you need it. Rest is part of learning. Your brain needs time to process. If you study 30 minutes and you remember it for weeks, that is better than studying 5 hours and quitting after 1 week. Strategy number 4 is pronunciation work, including shadowing, reading aloud, and focused sound practice. Many people ignore pronunciation because they think it will fix itself. Some parts will improve naturally, but many parts need attention. I made a small list of sounds that were hard for me, like th, r, and word stress. I watched lessons about how to place the tongue and how to shape the lips. I practiced in front of a mirror. I did simple drills like think, this, those, and write light. Then I used the sounds in real sentences. Here is a simple way to train pronunciation without a teacher. First, pick one model voice. It can be one YouTuber, one actor, or one podcast host. Do not jump from accent to accent every day. Second, pick one small focus each week, like ending sounds or sentence stress. Third, record yourself and listen. Many learners never listen to their own voice, but that is how you find your weak points. Fourth, repeat with shadowing. Fifth, use the new sound in real speaking, even if it is slow. Clear English is more important than fast English. Strategy number 5 is listening training. Many learners listen, but they do not train listening. There is a difference. Training means you repeat and you check. One good exercise is listen and write. You listen to one sentence and you try to write what you hear. Then you check the transcript. This shows you exactly what you miss. Another helpful trick is to use slower speed for a short time, like 0.9 or 0.75 speed, then move back to normal speed. Do not stay slow forever, but slow speed can help you catch details at the start. Strategy number 6 is vocabulary, but in a smart way. In school, I learned long word lists and I forgot them fast. Later, I changed my method. I learned words in context, inside sentences. When I watched a show, I wrote down phrases, not single words. For example, instead of learning decision, I learned make a decision. Instead of learning interested, I learned I am interested in. This is how real English works. Words often come with partner words. Many teachers call these partner words. If you learn the whole phrase, you can speak faster. I also used a simple review system. I had a small notebook or an app. I reviewed old phrases every few days. The goal was not to remember 1,000 new words in 1 month. The goal was to remember 50 useful phrases and use them many times. If you learn fewer things but you use them more, your English becomes strong and natural. Strategy number 7 is grammar, but grammar for communication. Grammar is helpful, yes, but grammar is not the final goal. The final goal is meaning. So I asked myself, what do I want to say in real life? If I wanted to tell stories, I practiced past tenses. If I wanted to talk about plans, I practiced future forms. If I wanted to give opinions, I practiced I think. In my opinion, I agree. I disagree, however, because, and so. After I learned a rule, I made my own examples about my life, because that is easy to remember. Also, I learned to accept good enough grammar when I speak. In real conversation, you do not have time to think about every rule. So build one strong base and then speak. You can correct later. If you always wait for perfect grammar, you will never speak. Strategy number 8 is speaking practice, even when you are alone. Many learners wait for a partner. They think, I cannot speak because I have nobody. But you always have one person, yourself. I talked to myself in English, quietly or in my head. I described what I was doing. I am making tea. I need to answer emails. I will study later. Then I went one step higher. I told stories to myself. I retold a video I watched. I explained my opinion about a topic. I asked myself questions and answered them. Then I started doing voice messages. I recorded 1 minute about my day. I listened and noticed my mistakes. Then I recorded again and tried to improve. This is like a private speaking class. You can also do it with a friend. You can exchange voice messages. It is less scary than a live call because you have time to think. Later, when I became more confident, I started speaking with native speakers more. I wish I had started sooner because it helped a lot. Real conversation teaches you speed, real listening, and natural answers. If you can, try 1 lesson a week with a teacher or a conversation partner. It does not need to be every day. 1 good conversation each week can change your English because it makes the language real. You can ask questions, get corrections, and learn how people really respond. If speaking scares you, use a speaking ladder. Step 1. Practice alone with small sentences. Step 2. Send voice messages. Step 3. Short calls with a friendly partner. Step 4. Join a small group class. Step 5. Real conversations in daily life. This ladder helped me a lot because it made the fear smaller. Strategy number 9 is reading and writing because they support your speaking. Many people skip writing, but writing is a slow form of speaking. It helps you build sentences with less pressure. I wrote a mini diary, a comment on a video, a short email, or a simple story. I kept it short and easy. I did not try to write like a famous writer. The goal was clear sentences. When someone corrected my writing, I saved the correction because it showed my common mistakes. Over time, my grammar became more natural, and my vocabulary became easier to use. Strategy number 10 is tracking progress and setting small goals. Big goals, like I want to be fluent, can feel heavy. So I used smaller goals. This week, I will learn 10 useful phrases. This month, I will finish one short book. Today, I will do 5 minutes of shadowing. That reward helps you continue. Tracking also keeps you honest. Some days you may feel like you are not improving, but your notes will show that you are. Here is a simple 30-day plan you can start today. Every day, listen for 10 minutes, learn 3 useful phrases, do 3 minutes of shadowing, and record 1 minute of speaking. That is it. After 30 days, you will not be perfect, but you will feel more comfortable and you will have a habit. After that, increase slowly. Add 1 conversation each week. Add 1 short book each month. Consistency beats intensity. One more thing that helped me, and it sounds small, is building English islands in my day. An English island is a short time when you only use English. For example, every morning I had 10 minutes with my coffee where I listened to an English podcast. In the evening I had 10 minutes where I read 1 page. On weekends I had 1 longer session where I reviewed everything. These islands are realistic and they make English feel normal, not special. Also, choose materials that match your level. If you are around A2 or B1, do not start with fast movies without support and then feel bad. Start with graded readers, easy podcasts, slow interviews, or videos made for learners. When the material is a little easier, you can focus on pronunciation and new phrases. Then, step by step, go harder. A simple rule is, you should understand the main idea even if you miss details. If you understand nothing, it is too hard. And please do not wait to finish learning before you use English. Use English now. Write a short comment. Ask a simple question. Join a friendly community. Even 1 message in English is practice. Every small action is a vote for the person you want to become. Now, before I finish, I want to share something quickly. If you enjoy this kind of training and you want more help, you can join my free email updates. I send short tips, small practice tasks, and simple reminders that keep you on track. It is free, and I do not spam. The idea is to give you something useful in a few minutes, so English stays in your life, even on busy weeks. You can check the information in the description and join if you like. Okay, one more important point: mindset. Many learners think mistakes are shameful. They feel stupid when they forget a word. But mistakes are not a sign of failure. Mistakes are evidence that you are using the language. Babies make mistakes for years, and nobody laughs at them. They grow because they keep trying. You can do the same. When I spoke with natives, I made many mistakes. Sometimes they corrected me, sometimes they did not. Most of the time, they were kind, because people care more about meaning than perfection. Also, do not compare your behind the scenes to other people's highlight video. Online, you see someone speaking smoothly, and you think they were born like that, but you did not see their hundreds of hours of practice. You did not see their notebooks, their boring drills, and their embarrassing moments. Progress looks slow in the middle, but it looks fast in the past. One day you will look back and realize you can understand movies, write emails, and talk without translating every word. So to wrap up, traveling abroad is amazing if you have the chance. It can give you motivation and many real situations. But it is not a requirement. You can learn English in your home country. You can build your own immersion. You can practice every day. You can train your pronunciation, grow your vocabulary, and speak more and more. The key is to take action, keep it fun, and stay consistent. Keep going even when it feels slow. Thank you so much for watching. And if this video helped you, please like, subscribe, and stay with English 1314.